KGUN 9, On Your Side at 5, starts now.
It's taking your breath away a little bit, but I'm very, very glad to be getting started and to do the work that the people elected me to do.
A new start for the Pima County Sheriff's Department after the previous administration leaves under a cloud of controversy. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Guy Atchley.
And I'm Valerie Cavazos. We start tonight with the swearing in of a new Pima County Sheriff, Mark Napier. Napier knows he'll have to deal with the fallout stemming from a federal indictment of the department's former chief deputy, Chris Rackey. But he hopes to move past it quickly.
But Napier tells Not On Your Side's Kevin Boughton there are other serious issues already waiting for him.
What a welcome for new Pima County Sheriff Mark Napier. On his first day on the job, he inherits the potential for a $6 million budget shortfall.
God, or so I do affirm.
So help me God, so I do affirm.
Mark Napier told voters he'd trim the Sheriff's Department's budget specifically by not hiring people to fill high-paying administrative roles. But he'll have to go beyond that because the department is $5.7 million over budget.
And that's serious. That's a very important amount of money. So just kind of getting ready to be there and to face the challenges that we'll face.
Napier says he'll ask lower command staff to find ways to save without cutting response times, something his predecessor said made trimming budgets difficult.
$6 million is a very meaningful amount of money, so we're going to have to look at our organizational structure or ways that we can consolidate and work smarter and better than we're working. We're going to have to look at a lot of different things. So I think there will be no sacred cows. I think organizational structure is a place that we can flatten out and save some money.
Sheriff Napier has said he has plans to develop policies to improve department community relations and to eliminate cronyism, which he believes has plagued the department for years. But admits changing culture may be more difficult than even he anticipates. Kevin Boughton, KGUN 9, On Your Side.
Happening now, Pima County deputies are looking for a man they say escaped from the jail. Investigators say 23-year-old Noah Pisano ran off while being processed. These are mugshots taken from a previous arrest. Pisano was being held on suspicion of multiple misdemeanor warrants, a felony warrant for organized retail theft, as well as misdemeanor counts of false reporting and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Taking a look at the jail now, the Sheriff's Department says this happened around 1 p.m. Police started searching in nearby neighborhoods, but called off the search just minutes ago until new leads surface. Call 911 or 88 Crime if you have any information. Donald Trump is warning U.S. automakers he intends to impose a 35% tax on cars they build in Mexico and ship back to America. Today, he went after General Motors. Trump tweeted, "Make the Chevrolet Cruze in the U.S. or face a heavy tax." GM said in a statement it makes the sedan model of the Cruze at an Ohio plant, but the Cruze hatchback is built in Mexico for global markets. GM said only a small number are sold in the U.S. Before the election, Trump directed similar warnings toward Ford. Ford is now canceling plans to build a massive new plant in Mexico. Instead, it's putting that money in Michigan. The car company said it's focusing on electric cars, investing $700 million and creating 700 new jobs at the plant in Michigan. This is partly because of President-elect Donald Trump's promise to raise taxes. Ford, feeling the heat, chose to divert their growth plans.
This business decision was done independently, but we did speak to the president and the president-elect and the vice president-elect this morning.
Ford, however, is adding the construction of the Ford Focus to the Hermosillo plant they currently have. A benefit to Tucson is multiple companies provide different supplies to that factory.
And those plants in Mexico also help business on the U.S. side. And 9 on Your Side's Craig Smith introduces us to a Tucson company that does 70% of its business with Mexico factories.
When people complain about the idea of Mexican factories taking jobs from the U.S., they tend not to realize that there can be a real give and take where factories on each side of the border support each other. And this is an example of that. The Miles Label Company employs more than 20 people and does about $3 million in business a year, with about 70% of that selling labels to Mexican factories that use them on everything from car parts to medical supplies. At the City of Tucson, Juan Padres works to build Tucson's foreign business and says Mexico is our state's biggest customer.
It's primarily aerospace, medical, electronics, some automotive, and then there's machining and other types of services.
Padra says Arizona businesses get more than $9 billion from Mexico, much of it for supplies that help factories there make their products. Now he says there's a sense of wait and see how the new president may change cross-border business. Craig Smith, KGUN 9, on your side.
New members of the 115th Congress sworn into office today. The Republican-led House and Senate are poised to move quickly on much of President-elect Donald Trump's agenda.
But first, House Republicans had an opening day flip-flop at issue, how representatives handle investigations into their own ethics. ABC's Megan Hughes with more.
So help you.
A new year, a new Congress.
Congratulations, you are all now members of the 115th Congress.
House Speaker Paul Ryan securing the votes to keep his position in the new term.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The people have given us unified government.
But it's off to a rocky start. House Republicans first taking a vote late at night and behind closed doors to strip power from the Office of Congressional Ethics.
We were getting phone calls on the ethics. The headlines were kind of like we weakened ethics and et cetera. So that's never a good headline.
After less than 24 hours and one tweet from President-elect Donald Trump later, they changed course.
I thought it was not the right way to proceed.
Trump's tweet said as unfair as the ethics watchdog may be, Congress should focus on tax reform and health care, which left Democrats to wonder, was the president-elect opposed to gutting the ethics watchdog or just the timing?
I'll let the president-elect's team explain exactly what he was intending to communicate in his tweet.
Republicans now turning to making good on President-elect Donald Trump's promises, 17 days from his inauguration.
We'll focus on repealing and replacing Obamacare. We'll look forward to legislation that will give us the tools to roll back the avalanche of red tape and regulation that have been stifling American jobs.
Vice President-elect Mike Pence and President Obama will visit Congress on Wednesday, talking with their parties about the fate of the president's health care law. We've learned more about who will be attending the Trump inauguration. The list includes former President George W. Bush and his wife Laura, as well as Bill and Hillary Clinton. Megan Hughes, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
All right, let's move to weather now and the non-winter-like weather. Erin Christensen is here.
Well, didn't you have your fill of the rain and the mountain snow and cooler than normal temps a couple days ago?
Well, I was gone.
So not necessarily for you, and I'm sensing Val, no. We definitely have a warming trend moving in. Our temperature right now back in the 60s, 62 degrees. After the first 2 days of the new year, we're cooler than normal as we stayed in the 50s for Tucson. The rest of southern Arizona, most of our temps right around normal today. 56 in Safford, that meant 56 Sierra Vista, 59 in Douglas, as well as Nogales. Live look outside at those clouds from Twin Peaks and Silver Bell. Those clouds are going to hang on throughout the course of the evening, and that might make it a little tricky for viewing tonight's meteor shower, but I'll still tell you how and when to watch for that. And we give you a look at Tucson's 2016 weather review.
Thanks, Erin. Severe weather plaguing the nation and more storms on the way. A look at the damage and what areas are expected to get hit next.
But first, a fiery crash that nearly ends in death and a toddler trapped under a dresser. These jaw-dropping rescues when we return for more on KGUN 9 on your side.
Two remarkable rescues caught on camera, one in, of all places, a child's nursery.
And the other on a Southern California freeway. Let's start with the incredible moments of that fiery rescue. After being struck from behind, an SUV burst into flames on the 110 in Florence. Within moments, a photojournalist on the scene pulled the driver to safety, as you can see there, as the vehicle continued to burn. And the driver listed in critical condition. The accident is under investigation.
From another amazing rescue to another, this one featuring the power of brotherly love in a video that has gone viral. After trying to climb a dresser in their bedroom, twin toddlers in Utah tipped the piece over, trapping one of the boys. It's horrifying at first, but what happens next is incredible as one of the 2-year-olds manages to push the fallen dresser off of the other, freeing him. The parents say they immediately secured the dresser to the wall following the incident, and they hope the video will provide a valuable lesson to others. Yeah, we have for our grandson when he was much smaller. Man, we nailed bookcases to the wall.
That's a very good reminder because, you know, you just don't think about that sometimes as a parent. And having both of them, I think that's what happened with two kids doing the exact same thing.
Boy, they crawl all over everything,
Yeah,
don't
they certainly do. All right, Chief Meteorologist Erin Christensen has the forecast. She joins us now.
Well, chances are you guys have heard 2016 was the hottest year on record for Tucson, but that's not all. We go through the highlights of last year coming up.
And a big storm already hitting states in 2017, the massive damage and what states will be hit next in just minutes. You're watching KGUN 9 on your side.
The deadly storms lashing the South are now being blamed for killing at least 5 people. This is just some of the damage in Florida.
In all, there have been up to 135 reports of severe weather from Texas to South Carolina to Florida in the last 24 hours. ABC's Elizabeth Herr with the latest from New York.
Overnight, a dozen reported tornadoes touching down from Georgia to Mississippi and Alabama, killing 4 people in their trailer when a tree came crashing down, splitting it in 2. In Jackson, Alabama, more than 6 inches of rain fell in just 4 hours, turning roads into rivers.
This is a prime example as to why not be out. It's because we have a vehicle submerged in water at this time.
Keeping first responders busy rescuing driver after driver. In Florida, fast-moving floodwaters killed a 70-year-old man in Crestview, where rising rivers and overworked drainage systems just could not keep up with more than 11 inches of rain.
We have a big dent right here.
Lost the top of my chimney, a lot of the fascia, some shingles.
Residents are now cleaning up in Pensacola after strong winds tore through the area, leaving dozens of homes there damaged.
I thought it was hailing, and then the window to my room blew in, and I figured it was a little more than hail.
And today, more heavy rain is moving across Florida and the Carolinas. And then after that, forecasters say expect heavy snow in the northern plains and an Arctic blast to make a return. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
And seeing that is why we should not complain, namely me, about the weather here in Tucson.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah, we oftentimes don't have too much to complain about, do we? But we are going to cover some of those weather extremes that we experienced here in Tucson over 2016. Yes, it was the hottest year on record for us, with an average temperature of 72.1 degrees. It tied 2014 for that top slot. And as far as the rain is concerned, 11 81/100ths of an inch is what we picked up over the course of the year, whereas our average is 11 59/100ths, so almost a quarter of an inch over what we would typically pick up. So that was not so bad. When you consider the fact that we've been in a drought for quite a few years, we can use that little tiny surplus of rain. Our highlights, though, as far as our daily temperature records, we had 35 of them, with our 2 extremes here of 115 degrees on the 19th of June, and then our lowest temperature was 28 degrees in February and again in December. We had 4 daily rain records. Our wettest day was the 7th of September with 1 1/4 inches worth of rain. The entire month of May, not a drop. Our monsoon was overperforming with almost 7.5 inches worth of rain, and that is 1 and just about 3/10 above what we would typically expect for our really rainy season. And our first 100-degree day came on the 2nd of June and was quickly followed by our first 105-degree day the very next day on the 3rd of June. So just a few highlights for you there. Our high today, 63. We are back in the 60s and almost on par with where we should be, meaning the 30-year average. We were in the 50s for the first couple of days of our new year, so kind of getting back to normal, like a lot of folks after the holiday break. Our downtown Tucson view, looking to the north, we're seeing some of that stratus cloud cover hanging on, and that has produced 62 degrees with a humidity of 31% at Tucson's airport. Wind is now from the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Partly cloudy for us overnight with a low of 40 degrees. And don't forget that meteor shower. It's going to be tough to see with the cloud cover, but this is the second night, or technically early morning, of the peak of the quadrantid. So if you didn't see anything last night, give it a shot again tonight, and then you might have to wait till next year. To the northeast after midnight is where you want to look, really between midnight and 7 a.m. your best opportunity for spotting the meteors. Again, we are calling for partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be mild for viewing in the low to mid 40s between midnight and 3 a.m. And then tomorrow afternoon, our clouds move out. Our sunshine returns in earnest with 66 degrees. That is pretty close to normal. It's actually 2 degrees above our 30-year average. Highs for Cochise County, 61 in Bowie and Wilcox, Tombstone at 63, Bisbee at 62, mid 60s here for Green Valley, Nogales, and in Tubac, 64 for Marana. How about 62 for 3 Points, 65 Casa Grande. We're looking at 63 in Thatcher, but 66 Mammoth, 62 for Oro Valley, and 67 Sahuarita. The extended KGUN night on your side 7-day now. Again, mostly sunny skies the next 2 days, with temperatures continuing to warm to the upper 60s. We're looking at Friday, 65 with partly cloudy skies, 68 Saturday, and whoa, check out Sunday. We'll be back in the 70s. Guy, Val?
Whoa, okay. All right, thank you, Erin. Whether it's new license plates or new laws, the DMV is seeing some changes.
What you can expect to see in 2017 when we come back for more on KGUN 9 on your side.
Journalist Megyn Kelly is leaving Fox News for a job at NBC later this year. The Star primetime anchor confirmed the news on social media today. As sources say, Fox offered her an annual salary of $20 million to stay with the network, but her spokesperson, Leslie Dart, says money was not the driving factor in the big move. And Fox has not yet commented about a replacement. A dog found trapped in a Midtown storm drain is now closer to returning home. Tucson police, firefighters, and Good Samaritans helped pull the dog to safety after someone spotted it trapped in a drain near Williams and Craycroft. The dog has no identification, so Pima Animal Care Center is housing it until the dog's owners are found. If you know who this dog belongs to, call PACC.
State lawmakers are doing a good turn for families who lost someone in military service. As of now, survivors of military members killed in service will get a break on taxes. Specifically, the law removes the vehicle registration fee and the vehicle license tax for one vehicle registered to a surviving spouse or dependent. The tax break is renewable on an annual basis, but a spouse who remarries will lose the exemptions. Also, on the subject of license plates, did you know that specialty license plates in Arizona have brought in $66 million over the last 10 years? That money goes for various causes, including fighting cancer and stopping child abuse. And now the state is introducing new specialty plates featuring Grand Canyon University, the historic Route 66, and the Special Olympics. GCU's earnings will go toward an academic scholarship, the Route 66 profits to a historic preservation fund, and the Special Olympics plate will support the leadership teams of the organization.
Movies are one of the most popular pastimes in modern America.
But not everyone is willing to pay for them. We'll show you the most pirated movie of 2016 in minutes. And next at 6. Mount Lemmon visitors coming in by the truckload. The safety concerns surrounding one of our coldest hotspots.
Plus, Ford shuts down plans to send business to Mexico. Why a win for Michigan may also mean a loss for local businesses at 6.
Why the fancy red suit, Mr. Poole?
Oh, that's because it's Christmas Day, Dopinder. And I'm after someone on my naughty list.
Oh, plenty of Deadpool fans were naughty last year. The R-rated superhero flick was the most illegally downloaded movie of 2016. The website Torrent Freak publishes the annual list of the top-rated pirated pics. And appropriately, the snarky Merc with a mouth led the way.
The movie also did pretty well among paying movie fans. Worldwide ticket sales topped $783 million.
Okay, so have you seen that movie?
I have not. It doesn't look like a particular movie of mine.
I love these superhero movies, but my kids were telling me, Mom, no, you do not want to see that movie. They will not let me see that movie.
So you're going to go see it, aren't you?
They think it's that bad?
Yes, it's an R-rated superhero flick.
Oh.
But, yeah, no.
Okay.
So, yeah, they forbid me from watching that movie, so I haven't seen it.
Well, if you do, just do so legally.
Yes, I know.
Don't pirate that, aren't they?
Oh, I know, and
yes,
the
because
FBI
we'll
warning.
report it.
Yes, it scares me. You're going to report it on me? Okay. You're not invited to my house ever.
Coming from the guy who says he certainly doesn't want to see it ever. So. All right, let's give you a look outside. We have some clouds still hanging on, and yes, you can still see those snow-capped Catalinas there. Boy, that certainly is beautiful. A look at your 7-day forecast now. That snow will be melting quickly as we warm in the valley. We warm in the mountains, too. We'll be at 66 tomorrow, 67 Thursday, Friday at 65, back to 68 Saturday with a few clouds moving back in, and then Sunday's high at 73 degrees.
Okay, so no complaining here.
So what you can do is you can watch Hercule Poirot on Netflix.
Do I have to say it?
Yes, you will have to learn.
Then I can't watch it.
Thanks for watching, and have a good evening.